All right, hello, welcome audience. This is gonna be a short, I think short episode. Not sure. Don't quote me. Pero um, like we said in the ano ba, sec last episode, some few episodes ago, nagagawa kami ng mock draft na ako si Laij tsaka si Sams. Uh, kasi a few mock drafts have gone posted somewhere, a lot of mock drafts. So naisip lang namin gumawa. It's gonna be our version, our thoughts, and hopefully we make sense with what we say. Anyway, welcome to the Intangibles first ever Intangibles podcast, NBA mock draft. I'm Matt.
Yung Sams.
Laij.
Welcome everyone, and so basically you'll get the flow of what we're gonna do once we start. And we'll just follow. I'm gonna be. Let's see. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the mock draft. Uh, what a sequence. I'll be flashing it on the screen, and then we're gonna talk about it. So yeah, Lige, we have you starting us off with the first pick, which is the Orlando Magic. Who do you think they will pick?
Okay, so honestly lang, so when it comes to sa big board, basically there's a consensus kasi there's always consensus. And specifically this year, yung top 3 consensus players, which I believe is in no particular order is Chet Holmgren, Jabari Smith, and Paolo Banchero. Basically, both of them plays almost the same position and basically they could play the 4, lalo na si Chip. Lalo na si Jabari and Paolo while si Chet Holmgren 4 and 5. And like nung minention ko it no particular order kasi for me it could really go either way. Like if Holmgren goes number 1 or Jabari goes number 1 or Paolo goes number 1, it's very interchangeable kasi kung sino pipiliin ng Magic. Pero for me, I personally believe that the Magic are gonna pick Chet Holmgren as their number 1 pick. Um, for me, kasi, the Magic picked Jalen Suggs last year, and as far as I know, may chemistry kasi silang dalawa ni Chet Holmgren. I think they were teammates nung high school. Plus, wala lang, sa akin lang. Pero when it comes to fit, it has been reported na Mo Bamba's leaving rin. So, it could be a sign na they are looking forward to drafting a 5. And they could, like I said, they could go either way in drafting Paolo Banchero or Jabari Smith as their foreman. Pero when you look at the roster of Orlando, medyo stacked na rin kasi sila sa 4 eh. You have guys like Franz Wagner, and even Jonathan Isaac rin. Si Mo, he could play the 4 and 5 then. So ayun. So that leaves a hole sa 5 spot. Wendell Carter Jr., I think he can also play the 4 and 5. Pero when it comes to size na rin, he's Chet Holmgren 7 feet. So I'm pretty sure he's gonna fill in that 5 spot for Orlando. So that's gonna be the number 1 pick. That's gonna be my number 1 pick.
Okay. Well, I honestly think Chet might not fit as much as we think he's going to in Orlando because they are filled with a lot of tall and lengthy forwards and centers that are projects. You have Mo Bamba. Not sure if Bolbo is there, but in the G League 2-way contract, I think. You have Jonathan Isaac. You have Mo Wagner. You have Wendell Carter. And you have his name Robin Lopez. Although Vetcha, he's still a center that is in their contract. I honestly think they will be, ito nakikita kong fit for them would be Jabari Smith as the number 1 pick. he could be a 3 or a 4 for them. Siguro good backup na rin for Franz Wagner if they're really deciding to go young. Kasi that's the route they're taking. They have Markel, they have Cole, they have Jalen Suggs, they have uh,
RJ.
RJ Hampton. So
RJ
like
Hampton.
they're real I'm not sure, is Terrence Ross still there?
Yeah,
Ako
pero
nanonood
most likely
masyado ng
he's gonna
Magic,
get traded.
guys. So like ayun nga. So kakailanganin mo ng backup for France. And I think Jabari Smith either will be the backup or will be the starter. But either way, yung dalawang yun, pag pinagsama sa isang team, would be a good fit. Paolo Banchero in college played more of a big guard. Eh, masyado sila maraming guards team na yun. So I think Jabari Smith would fit better. So yun. Akin feeling ko Jabari Smith first pick.
Jabari Smith din ako. But like, for a different reason. For me, the Magic need a solid, not good, kahit solid lang na defender around the rim. And sabi sa maraming parang draft experts na nagsasabi na parang this guy is one of the best defensive prospects, especially around the rim. Given na din siguro by his like length and height. So yun, parang need nila ng rim protection because they always get crushed. I'm not saying this guy's like gonna make a huge difference. They're still gonna get scored on a lot. Their defense is pretty bad. Pero malaking improvement if they get Smith for like kahit lang. Panakot lang sa rim, ganun.
Okay. It makes sense. Also guys, para lang alam nyo, yung syempre, iba-iba kami nasagot. So, and dun sa, syempre, kailangan yung Intangibles Podcast ay may isang mock draft. So, if someone says a person, a player, tingnan natin kung may majority. Yun yung ilalagay natin sa official Intangibles Podcast ng mock draft. If lahat kami iba-iba yung sagot, and then we'll just talk about it then. That's where we talk about it kung sino ba talaga yung deserving sa number 2 spot or something like that. Okay, so just making it clear. So now, Jabbar, since majority, we're picking Jabari as our first pick. So, but we're still listing it down. We're still listing, ako personally, I'm still listing down everyone's picks para lang din maging aware kami kung baka may tumama sa amin ng eksakto, hindi namin sure. Diba? Maganda rin malaman. Anyway, so we're going to move on to the number 2 pick. And ito na guys. My favorite. The OKC Thunder at number 2. And may dalawa kasi akong sagot dito. May realistic at saka may whatever favors the Thunder that I think so. So, unahin ko na muna yung realistic. Kasi seen in the draft board, Chet Holmgren for me would be the best fit in the top prospects sa draft for the Oklahoma City Thunder simply because they need a 4 or a 5 type of player. The 4 that the Thunder have right now is Darius Baisley. And I don't think that will cut it if you're trying to develop young guys into winning championships. The other centers you have JRE, who's like 6'9". And you have Olivier Sarr, another prospect na I have no background of. Hindi ko alam kung saan siya nanggaling. And then you have Derek Favors, which he is old.
Veteran.
He's a veteran. But he's not Al Horford. So hindi ko masasabing kaya niyang matulungan yung team umabot sa finals. But it's a good player to have. But yun nga, it's obvious that we as Thunder, we need a center. We have Dort for the 3 and Kendrick Williams. We have Josh Giddey and Shea at the guards, Treyman at the guard. So all those spots are filled. We need a 4 and a 5, and I think Chet Holmgren fits that perfectly. Laij.
Well, since medyo parang iba-iba yung draft natin, I'll just follow the general mock draft. And since yung general mock draft, we picked Jabari Smith at number 1. So I'll follow this specific mock draft.
Malay mo,
So,
Laij, tama, malay mo, parehas kayo ni Sam, diba? Baka magkaparehas kayo sa, sa mga draft picks. Kaya sundin mo
yeah.
lang kung
Pero, yung personal ko for number 1 kasi is Chet Holmgren, di ba?
So
Pero
sino
for
yung number
the general kasi si Jabari Smith. Pero I'll follow this one na lang. So, since available pa si Chet Holmgren, I'm picking Chet as well for the second pick in this year's draft. I'll mention yung reason ko, I'll mention it na lang, and I'm pretty sure Matt knows it. For me kasi, if in a perfect world and if I were to predict kung ano talaga yung long-term plans ng OKC, ito yung naiisip ko eh. If OKC picks Chet Holmgren this year and they decided that they're also gonna tank next year, they're ultimately gonna tank next year to a point na they're gonna get the number 1 pick.
or
Sobrang
a trade draft pick.
It's a
number 1 pick.
It's a very perfect scenario that OKC drafts Victor Wembanyama next year. And when you look at it, Twin Towers 2.0 yun. Chet Holmgren and Victor Wembanyama. Pero let's look at the fit na rin. Kasi yun nga, as Matt said, yeah, they need bigs right now. And although yung Paolo Banchero is still available, for me kasi mas fit lang talaga si Chet Holmgren. In a sense na he plays better defense and he's basically taller. So ayun lang for me. So mas angat lang ng onti sa akin si Chet over Paolo for the second pick.
So ako for naman din. Chet din yung number 2 ko. I would choose si Paolo for number 2 but like doesn't want to play for the Thunder. So I have no other reason why I'm choosing Chet because I honestly don't like the fit din. Pero nung sinabi nga nila Matt and Laij na kailangan nila ng big man, edi okay din. Like for defense, other than shot blocking, Chet's not that good perimeter. Lalo na yung guard heavy play ng NBA ngayon. He's gonna get killed by those guys. Yung like the Dames, the Jazz, yung mga ganun. So I think he's gonna work on that. But like I said din kanina before the podcast started, Thunder have time to develop naman. They have like minimum 3 years before they could be like at least a playoff team. So hopefully, okay yung player development nila. Kasi ang dami nilang project players. So yun.
Okay. Well, you're starting for Houston as well. So,
okay. Number 3, my favorite guy of the draft, si Paolo. Fit-wise, hindi ko talaga alam. Like, these first 3 picks, they don't make sense to me. Kasi,
same.
yeah, they don't make sense to me in any team. Kaya, kung si Laij nagbigay din ng parang perfect world scenario, ako rin. Perfect world scenario. Houston's gonna get him. Either they're gonna trade Seawood or they're gonna trade him for like, I don't know who. Basta they're gonna trade him. Or honestly, I just want Paulos in like, in a better team where, Kasi sa Houston, feel ko hindi siya mabibigyan ng bola masyado. You got Jalen, you got Josh, then you got KPJ, you have Sengun, yung mga ganun. You have Seawood. So, I don't know where he goes in there. Pero fit-wise, okay naman siya sa position. He fills the spot. But, ang dami nilang, like, all 5 are like super young people na, medyo ball dominant. Kaya, like, to be productive. So, yeah. But I still think, number 3, this guy to me is the best player in the draft. Pero number 3, best fit for him. Yun.
Laij.
I agree rin. For me, he's also the best pick. He's the best player in this draft. Pero when it comes to fit lang kasi, medyo alanganin lang. But I think it's actually, it's a good fit naman for me. Paolo Banchero to the Rockets. In a sense na Christian Wood kasi, even let's say, even though hindi siya matrade, I think he can play the center naman. Although medyo ano lang siya.
Undersized.
On the defensive end, medyo lacking lang. Pero, pero let's say na Christian Wood still plays at the PF, tapos sabihin natin si Sengun at the center. I think he could slide Paolo at the 3 eh. So for me, it's a good fit kasi out of those 3 guys, the top 3 guys, Chet Holmgren, Paolo Banchero, and Jabari Smith, mas switchable yung position ni Paolo Banchero compared sa other 2. So I think Houston's gonna get Paolo Banchero. And to add na rin, there was an interview kasi, parang this scout asked Paolo Banchero on which players he wants to play with. And since this kid is a Seattle dude, so ang minention niya yung the other 2 Seattle natives na sa NBA ngayon, specifically si DeJounte Murray and yung isa si Kevin Porter Jr. So from there, may sense na I think parang Houston's gonna get this kid. They want to pair Paolo Banchero to KPJ. With KPJ. So for me talaga, I think Houston's gonna get Paolo Banchero.
Okay. Well, akin naman, I think na good fit siya kahit paano. Siya lang yung pinakamagandang i-fit mo doon dahil wala ka na pwede talagang i-fit doon. He can be a 3, I think so. He can play the 2 to the 4 positions of Houston, which is right now very open. It's his biggest chance to improve as a player, to develop. So I think it's a good fit for him. Nasabi naman na lahat, so it's basically the gist of it. Okay, we're moving. So yun, consensus, Paolo Banchero, number 3. Okay, number 4, we're going to Sacramento, Laij.
Okay, so ito number 4. I think this is where it gets interesting na.
Yep.
Kasi even though may consensus top 3, I don't really know who's gonna go sa top 4. Sacramento can go different ways here. If they're going to pick the best player available, no-brainer si Jaden Ivey. But I'm not really sure kasi guard-heavy rin yung Kings. They have the Aaron Fox and si Davion Mitchell pa. Although you can say na pwede maging backup si Davion. For me personally, this year, I think yung plan ng Kings is to compete na ngayon eh. So there's rumors na they might trade their 4th pick for a win now player. Pero since this is a mock draft, so I'm having them pick at the 4. And I think they're gonna pick a win now player. So for me, I have them picking Keegan Murray. Positional wise, they need a 4 right now. And Keegan Murray is a 4 basically. He's a modern 4. And he's very versatile at saka he's a very good defensive player. And what the Kings need right now badly is defense. So Keegan Murray offers that to them, and to add na rin, yun nga, yung fit. That's what they need, yung positional needs at the 4. So for me, I got Keegan Murray. Although if they're gonna pick the best player available, I'd go with Jaden Ivey. Pero yung prediction ko lang, I mean, ano tawag dito? If they're going to pick in terms of fit, they should go Keegan Murray.
Okay. I honestly think Keegan Murray as well. I just don't see fitting their team based on the many guards that they have as well. They have the Aaron Fox, they have Davion Mitchell who they just drafted. Unless that they plan to put one of them on the bench, I don't think it makes sense. But Keegan Murray is gonna help them a lot, especially in the big slot. Kasi who do they have right now? Domantas Sabonis. That's it. Like yung Rashawn Holmes. I mean, it's really if you want someone to help you, and kung hindi trade, kung hindi via trade, if you want someone to help you immediately, based on fit, that would be Keegan Murray. So, Keegan Murray din ako.
Same here. For all those reasons as well. Ayan. Keegan Murray din ako.
Nice. Okay. So, we're moving. Keegan Murray at number 4 for us. Sacramento consensus. Okay. For number 5, I'll start for 5th pick, which is Detroit. Since I think I do think this fits now. Given that the best talent is available, the best talent available is Jaden Ivey, I feel like it would fit for the reason that they would partner him up with Cade.
Wait, you don't like the
You're gonna put him in the 2?
Fit?
Yeah.
You're gonna put Ivy at the 2?
Yeah. I see it happening. Who do they have starting? Killian Hayes and Cade ba?
Or Corey Joe, di ko alam eh.
Yeah, one
of Corey Joseph, bro.
Yung ginagawa kasi ng Pistons is like parang ginagawa ng Dallas to Luka. Diba kasi initially Lucas sa 2, pero siya yung main ball handler. Parang yun yung ginagawa na. If they ever decide.
So like imagine the lineup for that. You have Cade, you have Jaden, you have Sadiq, and then you have whoever fork when you want to trade is Jeremy Grant. I mean, I think it's a good fit based on the talent available. If I were Detroit, I'd 100% take a chance on Jaden Ivey instead of Dyson Daniels, Osman Jeng, Adrian Griffin, and all these other guys. If you're basing it off talent first, I'd rather pick him. Because if you're taking a chance anyways, why not go for the best talent that you could fit him into slots in your team? That's my thing.
Well, ako naman, I mean, obvious naman na ginagawa ng Pistons na yung star player nila si Cade, diba? So, ibig sabihin, all the pieces around him should make sense. That all the pieces should complement Cade's game. So, para sa akin naman, yung best fit for them is Shaedon Sharpe. Cade needs a great 2 guy na he can parang, since na-mention na rin nila yung parang what they're doing to Luka. I mean, this guy's a great defender. He has a good jump shot. He's a good slasher. So, I mean, si Cade medyo, I'd say he's still pretty passive. Mas pa siya, how do I say this? He wants to be a facilitator. And this guy to me is like, he's a scorer. And scorer tas defender, that's his job. So yun, this guy, si Sharp, hindi rin siya maliit. What's Ivy, like 6'3", 6'4"?
6'4".
6'5".
This guy,
6'5".
Si Ivy?
Si Sharp, si Ivy 6'4". 6'4". Si Sharp 6'5".
So yun, perfect siya. Para sa akin, perfect complement siya for Cade. Tsaka hindi masyado maapektuhan yung production niya, even if Cade has the ball. Because Cade's gonna feed him. So that's my opinion.
What do you like?
Well, for me kasi, if Shaedon Sharpe played in college or in the pros, he's definitely gonna be a top 3 pick for me. But there's been rumors swirling na mga executives medyo hindi na masyadong hindi masyadong na-impress kay Shaedon Sharpe. I'm not sure if multiple executives yan or one lang. But prediction ko lang kay Shaedon Sharpe kasi since there's lack of parang showing rin na yun nga, di siya nakapaglaro. And considering he didn't really participated sa combine, nag-participate lang siya sa shoot around. Parang medyo lacking talaga kasi yung yung pinapakita niya for the scouts to draft him early at number 4. So for me kasi prediction ko, I think Shaedon Sharpe is gonna be at 5 pala, I'm sorry. Prediction ko lang is he's gonna fall out of the top 5. And when it comes to the pick naman sa Pistons, I'll go with Jaden Ivey rin kasi in terms of fit, Pistons basically needs a little bit of everything. They don't specifically need wala silang except for the shooting guard, they have Cade naman. Pero I think they could use a Jaden Ivey rin kasi they don't really have a solid point guard. You can say Killian Hayes is fairly young and madedevelop pa siya. Pero compared naman kay Jaden Ivey, I think they could mas early impact ma, ang mapapakita ni Jaden Ivey for this team, for the Pistons team. And I'm a fan of the backcourt duo of Jaden Ivey and Cade. So yeah, I'd go with Jaden Ivey.
So by consensus, we're going with Jaden Ivey. At number 5 to Detroit. Number 6, Indiana. Sams, lead the way.
Ito yung pick ko kasi, I think Miles Turner is either gonna wanna leave or he's gonna get traded. So with that being said, gusto ko for Pacers is...
There's this, may nabasa ko rin, parang it's more than likely daw na he might stay. Pero I'm not sure. There's a possibility pa rin naman na he can get traded. Pero there's a news lang rin na he's most likely na he might stay.
Well, if ganon, I'm still gonna pick this guy, this Matt's guy, si Jalen Duren. Like, I think masyadong mataas, like, you guys might think na masyadong mataas yung pick ko sa kanya. Pero solid siya. Like, kung mag-stay man si Miles, hindi solid silang front court. Pero, initially, yung parang reason ko for picking this guy is a great replacement for, Miles Turner. Of course, defensively, napakalayo ng level ni Miles sa kanya. Like, as far as frame and athleticism and more on the things that he could do, medyo similar naman sila. So, yun.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Actually, pahirap.
Pahirap.
Ito
lang. FYI lang, guys. FYI lang. Baka magtaka kayo sa magiging... Alam ko matagal pa yung OKC, pero baka magtaka kayo sa magiging draft pick ko for OKC. Just so you guys know, ako, initially, gusto ko maging Chet, Jabari, tapos Paolo. And then we pick a big on the 12th. But either way, feeling ko magiging tama rin naman ako. Nakalimutan ko lang sabihin kanina, kaya nilalagay ko lang out there. Anyway, for my 6th pick, this is hard. Kasi I was looking at their team. They have a lot of guards, so you don't need that. You have Buddy Hield, Tyrese Haliburton. You have a 2-3 for Chris Duarte. You have Malcolm Brogdon. You have Ricky Rubio. You have TJ McConnell. You have Lance Stephenson. So you probably don't need any of the guards. Missing talaga sila sa big. But I don't think they will pick a center. I think they're gonna go for a 3 or 4 guy because they have Isaiah Jackson, they have Jalen Smith, they have Miles Turner, and if it's true that Miles Turner won't leave, you have good pieces like Jalen Smith and Isaiah Jackson there as well. I don't know if it's a bit early, but I'm going for number 8 with Ousmane Dieng.
Wow.
Okay, Ousmane Dieng. I don't know if that's a surprise pick, but his length, I've seen him play, man. He's a big guy who can run the floor. And if you're gonna go small, I think Teka, let me check my stats. He's 6'9", 6'10", whose wingspan is 7 feet to 7'3". So like, I think he would be a good fit if you're just going young. I don't think you need another based on their big men. I don't think you need another stable big man who's just gonna stay inside. I think that's just the Jalen Durant pick makes sense, but I don't think you need another guy who's just gonna be inside. I think you have to continue to adapt, lalo na ngayon na puro kayo bata. This is your biggest chance to adapt in the NBA using your young guys. So if you're gonna adapt, might as well get a big a mobile four or a mobile four that you can use as a three as well. So that's what I'm getting at number 3 Usman Day.
Stuff.
I mean, I don't know if it makes sense. I don't know. Totoo lang, di ko alam.
That's tough, bro.
I don't know. I don't know if it makes
Okay,
sense to you guys, but you know.
So I'm gonna inform na this is gonna be our first pick na iba-iba yung
Wow.
picks natin.
Hirap eh.
Hirap talaga, hirap.
Yeah, mahirap talaga. Well, I understand naman yung kay Matt. For me, it's a bit of a reach for them to pick Usman Dieng. Pero we've seen that many times na. For example, last year, oh my gosh.
In the draft, man.
The Spurs picked Josh Primo. Nagulat ako doon. Pero it happens. It happens naman talaga.
Wala nang surprise ngayon sa draft. So,
yeah.
Out of the top 3, pwedeng hindi ka na magulat. May chance na lagi ka na magulat kung sino pwedeng i-pick ng team mo.
Yeah. Pero yung problema ko lang for kay Usman Dieng is parang di ko kita yung fit eh. Yeah, he is 6'10" and medyo mahaba naman yung wingspan niya. Pero I just don't see him playing the 4, like the big man role. Ang nakita ko talaga sa kanya, this is the dude from NBL, di ba?
Yeah.
Parang he's more of a guard player eh. Parang a point forward. Kind of like a Josh Giddey na even though na his height is very ideal for a 4, you just don't see him playing that position. For me, parang gano'n siya si Usman Dieng. So for me, I think mas better for them to pick. I have 2 guys. Actually, I have 3, pero yung isa, di ko na sinama kasi I'm looking at the fit trend. And yung those 2 guys is either the Pacers could go either AJ Griffin or Benedict Mathurin. Pero for me, this is hard. I think they go AJ Griffin.
AJ Griffin.
Prediction ko lang is they're gonna get Benedict Mathurin. If parang yun lang yung dalawang players yung papagpiliin nila. Pero obviously, hindi lang naman yun yung mga players na pinapagpilian nila. Pero I think they should go for AJ Griffin because I think Malcolm Brogdon's gonna get traded. Tapos ang magiging guard nila si Tyrese Haliburton.
Yeah.
Tapos they need the 3 guy. Chris Duarte is good, pero for me, I think he's a good 6th man for them.
Okay siya ng backup.
Or pwede rin naman si AJ Griffin maging, yun, isa pa yun. But for me talaga, I pick in terms of potential na rin eh. Medyo weird case lang kasi si AJ Griffin because ano ba yung kailangan ng Pacers? I'll just check.
I feel like he's gonna
when
go
it comes
lower.
to AJ Griffin.
AJ Griffin like past
based
10.
sa isang
I don't
website.
have him past 10 on mine, but
The Pacers the Pacers need a point guard daw in the center.
Point guard? They need a point guard for.
Based sa website
baka
na to.
baka
Pero
wala
for
talaga
me
si Malcolm
talaga,
Brogdon. Pag nawala si Malcolm Brogdon, isa na lang point guard nila.
if that's the case, ang pipiliin nila si Dyson Daniels.
Dyson Daniels.
Pero
Actually,
for me,
actually, yun yung isa sa mga...
yun yung pangatlo ko eh, actually.
Siya yung after Jenko. Si Dyson
Wait,
Daniels
you know what?
after Jenko.
Alam mo kung bakit hindi ko na... Ayun nga, kasi hindi ko na siya linagay kasi may parang for me, they don't need a guard. Pero now I realize na sa mga mock drafts na pinapanood ko, medyo frequent si Dyson Daniels sa Pacers. Now I understand why. I personally believe na mapapakawalan ng Pacers si Brogdon. So I forgot about that. Oh, ano.
You know what? I'm switching my
should I switching my
pick? Yeah, I'm switching my pick.
You know what? I'm going for Dyson Daniels. I'm going for Dyson Daniels.
I'm sticking to mine.
He can play the two as well, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm going for Dyson Daniels.
Duren pa rin ako, Duren.
Dyson Daniels, just like Josh Kidd, combo guard rin.
Yeah,
so
he's from Australia too. He's from Australia
they could build
too.
Around an SGA Kidd type of backcourt. So yeah. I'll change it to mine to Dyson Daniels.
Dyson Daniels at Halliburton. Or Dyson Daniels and Chris Duarte or whoever.
I don't see the Halliburton one. Medyo iffy ako dun sa Halliburton duo, bro. Not gonna lie.
I mean, they both have shooting now.
Hindi ko pa kasi nakikita
Dyson Daniels is more consistent.
I don't know if Dyson can play off the ball.
Yeah, nung All-Star game. He showed it. Against NBA talent pa. Yeah. I mean, it is an All-Star game, but it's against NBA talent and he showed out for his team. So that makes sense actually si Dyson Daniels for me. Kung papakawalan talaga si Malcolm Brogdon.
Alright.
Okay, well, consensus goes to Dyson Daniels.
Alright.
Dyson Daniels.
Swerte natin dun
7 na tayo, di ba?
Yep, that's it.
Okay,
I know.
Si Laij na ulit. For Portland.
Okay.
Are you taking note of the general ones?
Portland.
Okay, so wait lang. Recap lang muna as of now. Laij, recap mo muna lahat so far.
Okay, so for general mock draft, so our top 7. So for number 1, we have the Magic taking Jabari Smith. Top 6 pala, I'm sorry. And for the second pick, OKC is gonna take Chet Holmgren. Tapos at 3, Paolo Banchero is gonna get drafted by the Rockets, followed by Keegan Murray going to the Kings. Then Jaden Ivey at 5. Then at 6, we have the Pacers taking Dyson Daniels.
So
that's our first 6 on our general.
Medyo weird yung draft ko.
Sams has 2 difference. Laij has 1 difference. So first pick niya. Si Sams 5 and 6 iba. Okay, we move on.
Sa next pick ko. Promise.
I think ewan ko sa 7th ko. Feeling ko this makes sense na. Okay, go Laij.
Ito 7th pick, I hate that Portland Trail Blazers are picking here. Kasi for me personally, kung anong pipiliin ng Portland is gonna dictate kung anong pipiliin ng Spurs. Kasi medyo identical yung needs ng dalawang yun eh. And for me, I think they're looking at 2 guys here. And apparently, yun rin yung 2 favorite prospects na gusto ko for the Spurs. They could go for Jalen Duren at center. Tapos, they also either that or they could also go for a 4, which is Jeremy Sohan. Ako personally kasi, the Blazers could also decide to trade this for a win now player.
I doubt they're rebuilding,
I doubt, bro.
They're rebuilding.
Yeah, they are. Pero keep in mind, they still have Damian Lillard.
Yeah, they do.
For me, in order to keep Damian Lillard happy, you need to surround with now players. And since yun kasi yung naiisip ko, yun yung scenario na naiisip ko. And with that, I think they're gonna keep Joseph Nurkic rin eh.
Yeah.
So, that leaves a hole at their 4. So, I don't know if pinipili ko lang to for the sake of the Spurs. Pero at 7th, I'm having them take Jeremy Sohan.
Okay, same.
At 7th. Jeremy Sohan is actually good. I'm a big fan of his.
Solid.
If minention ko to dati, minention ko to sa previous podcast. Yung player comparison niya is Kawhi Leonard in terms of his defensive ability. Pero he has a mixture of Draymond Green na rin. He can facilitate
Ang layo pa niya sa backdrop.
for yeah. Pero yun yung best for available eh. Pero I think talaga the Blazers are looking deep into at Jeremy Sohan. So, feeling ko lang it's either Jalen Duren lang talaga or who's this? Jeremy Sohan. Kasi I'm not really sure if they decide to pick another guard. Kasi may ano pa sila, may Anthony Simons pa sila, and meron pa nga silang
They have
who's this dude? I forgot.
The mock drafts from ESPN, The Ringer. They have AJ Griffin and Shadon Sharp. For Yahoo, they have Benedict Mathurin.
If they're going to pick the best player available,
yeah, Bleacher Report
those guys.
Benedict Mathurin din. So puro guards din yung pipili.
Well, it's the draft. I mean,
CBS AJ
di naman lagi kasing fit.
Like Simons
kasi lagi fit eh.
Do you guys honestly trust Simons to be Dame's number 2?
Like I think he can progress to be someone, but not.
Not with Dame.
Not with Dame. I mean, kailangan mo rin bigyan ng chance din. Kasi CJ McCollum became somewhat of like that then to Dame. He can. The only thing
Dame doesn't have time, bro.
And Dame doesn't have time anymore.
At saka nung na-draft si McCollum, medyo he's on the older side na rin ata if I can remember. So, instant contribution na talaga siya nung when he got drafted. Itong si Anthony Simons medyo na rin. Medyo hinog na rin.
Oh.
Pero Damian Lillard kasi, I just don't, no disrespect to Blazers, pero I don't really think they're gonna win anytime sooner. So, just like I said, I think they're also gonna trade this nga. Pero for me lang kasi, I think they need the 4. And parang for me lang, parang yung gut feeling ko, they're really gonna pick Jeremy Sohan for me.
Good. So I also think that even though malayo siya sa ang naisip ko kasi, to be honest, ang naisip ko either 3 people. I have AJ Griffin. Kaya ang naisip ko they don't need another whoever, the 3 or Jalen Duran or Jeremy Sohan, which is yung sinabi nila.
Crazy. Oh, God.
Yeah. And Jeremy Sohan, I think, is the best fit given na big kasi siya. And FYI lang guys, si Tieng malayo na ulit siya sa listahan ko ngayon. Dahil, the only reason nilagay ko siya a while ago was because of fit purposes, not because of talent. Because of fit purposes. And the time that the team has para mapagaling yung player na yun. Kasi sabihin na natin Portland doesn't have the time now to build players because of them. But Indiana does. That's what I meant. So, ayun lang. FYI lang. Pero yun, Jeremy Sohan ako.
Okay. For that very reason na sinabi mo na we said Portland doesn't have time. And fact na we all know and believe that Simons can be that great number 2 for Dame. Magugulat kayo sa pick ko, but I'm picking Jaden Hardy for the Portland Trail Blazers. Just because Dame needs instant production at 2. A guy that can play off the ball, a guy that's a prolific scorer when he has the ball, and he has a great talaga siya eh. That guy is just built to score. Tapos he has a good frame for defense. So wala na silang medyo masasolve na yung problem nila with like their 1-2 being very undersized. So I think for me, it's Jaden Hardy. I think most mock drafts don't have him as a lottery pick. Pero I'm picking this guy kasi kahit sa G League, he's very impressive.
The problem with it,
I wouldn't be surprised if mapadpad siya sa lottery, to be honest.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be
Great
also,
talent.
but the problem with him is just 3-point percentage. 26.9, 27% 3-point percentage. I don't know.
Honestly, ganoon naman talaga sa G League.
Yeah.
If mapapansin mo,
Kahit
Jalen
medyo
Green, pati
ganun
rin si
din.
Dyson Daniels eh.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hindi ko lang kung bakit gano'n. Pero hopefully, ano lang ata, medyo jittery lang talaga kasi yung mga
Sana.
rookies na naglalaro doon.
Sana. Pero good. Good lang mo fit na kukuha pa sila ng isa pang guard. Yun lang. Hindi ko lang maisip na kukuha pa sila ng isa pang guard. Pero it makes sense na umangat siya sa draft. Another small guard at 6'4", 185 pounds. I just don't see it.
Oh, really? Dito sa G League Ignite, he's 6'4", 198.
Ano pa pa yun?
Ano yung sinabi mo, Matt?
Ano lang to 20 hours ago lang to
Ano yung height niya?
Oh no, dito lang ako sa G
6'4",
League.
185.
What the heck? 185?
Yeah, it says here, 20 hours ago. So, ibig sabihin natin pinaka-updated.
Compared mo naman sa mga number 2 ni na Dame, like, man, I can see Simon siguro, backup 1.
Yun nga
Like,
rin.
Dame's number 2. So,
Yeah, they're
Honestly,
gonna put them together. They're gonna put them together at some point.
Actually, sa totoo lang, I can see Hardy ceiling as Damian Lillard rin. Kaya parang naiisip ko, why does this make sense na Hardy going to the Blazers? Yun pala. For me, yung ceiling kasi ni Hardy, more of like a Damian Lillard rin. Wala, naisip ko lang.
Ang naisip ko naman doon, they can't do that again. They know that they're not succeeding with Dame. I don't think they're gonna go for a Dame-like player again. Especially if you still have Dame. I mean, if you're rebuilding and trying to win at the same time, just go for what you need and not the talent that you can have in the future.
I mean,
He's already young. And if you're looking for a one, you have Anthony Simons already. So that means if you're looking for a big, madali naman kasi makahanap. If you're looking for a 2 or a 3 type player, maraming role players dyan. Ito lang kasi naiisip ko For a team to win, you have to have a good point guard and a good center. A good either ball handler or floor general, whatever your position is, or a good center. Because from the 2 to the 4 position, maraming role players that can fit into that. But who runs a team? Either
essentially the point guard.
Aside from konting mga tao, it's usually the point guard running the team. And who's running the defense? Or sino yung focused? Front court. So,
pinaka-importante yung front court defense.
Yes, pinaka-importante, which is the center. So, 3 or 4 or 5. So, yun nga. Jeremy Sohan and whatever. Jeremy Sohan, I think. You'll have Anthony Simons in the future. So,
medyo mahirap rin kasi to predict kung sino pipili ng Blazers kasi di mo rin kasi alam kung anong direction yung they're going to in the future. For me, the best talaga, I think Blazers Misto has to decide. They have to trade Damian na while mataas pa yung value niya. Like at an all-time high. Kahit di siya naglalaro, it's at an all-time high. You're gonna get a plethora of return for that team. Kasi kahit sabihin mo ng you're gonna build around him, I don't really think they could do what Phoenix did Kasi at least yung Phoenix may core na talaga sila. And yung nakuha pa nila nun, like nung when Chris Paul got there. Chris Paul is like Matt said, he's a facilitator. So I don't really think Blazers has the means to do that. So for me lang talaga yung best case scenario is I think Portland needs to hit the reset button and trade them.
Yeah.
But in the consensus, we're going for Jeremy Sohan at Portland, number 7.
If Jaden Hardy gets picked, though, I'm gonna look like
a
genius.
Although I don't think he will get picked that high. To be honest
Hardy?
with you, yeah. He'll probably slot in.
Nasa top 20 lang siya
Yeah, he'll probably slot in sa lottery, but I don't think he's going number 7. Like 10 to 14 probably. Yun, big chance na makapasok
Mas,
talaga siya.
mas make sense.
Okay, anyway, we're going to number 8. Sino na ba? Ako na ba? Pelicans.
Yata. Ako na ba?
Ako na ata eh. Pelicans. Kasi Laij, ikaw sa ano, di ba? Ikaw sa Portland. Ikaw nagsimula.
Yeah.
Okay, number 8.
Ako ba? Ako, tama. Pelicans.
No. Number 8.
Bro, ako. Kasi si Laij yung nauna. Tapos
Okay.
ako pangalawa. Tama. Okay, so okay. Number 8.
Alright. Isa pa tong mahirap for me.
This was supposed to be fast, pero ang
Pero
hirap
hirap
lang
kasi
talaga
yung-
pumili.
Nahirapan ako
kasi
mag-isip dito For 8.
Okay.
So di ako may daya ako eh. Yung mga next picks ko, I'm gonna base it off sa fit na lang talaga.
Yeah, alright. I'm
Ganun
gonna
din-
Ganun din naman
kasi
yung
ako.
ginagawa
I think
ko.
I'll do the same.
Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna go with my list and bahala na. For 8, I had AJ Griffin. Because
Small forward.
the defensive purposes, they would probably need that. Given kung ano nangyari sa kanila during the playoffs, they got out offensed, to be exact. And your team also doesn't need a guard
Why?
because you have you're progressing 3 guards. Why are you gonna pick one more? You're trying to build up 3 guards. You're trying to build up. You have a vet in Devontae. You're trying to build up Alvarado. You're trying to build up Kyra Lewis. I just don't think. And then you have
They need a
CJ
solid.
Mack.
You said, bro. You said they need a good guard and a good.
Okay, tell me, isn't Alvarado
Actually-
a good guard?
Yeah, but is he a championship?
It's a good backup.
Yeah, he's a good
Good
backup. Si
backup.
Alvarado, spark of the bench.
Yeah, but who says they're not gonna trade some one of them? That's
They need the floor general, bro.
the thing is kasi I saw lang the main 3 that you have is Brandon Ingram, which is
Yeah.
good to have, right?
I think
He's a
they had
good
him at
3.
the 4.
He's a good 3 or 4 to have. Pero malaking ano rin kasi yung defense sa kanila. Given na they have all small guards. Kasi walang talagang point guard na top talent na natitira. You have combo guards.
You're forgetting someone, bro. I think you're forgetting someone.
When it comes to this big board, ESPN's big board, the best point guard available is Ty Washington.
Which
Pero
is going to be picked somewhere.
he's at 17.
Yeah.
Yung sa draft board nila, he's at 17. Honestly, I have him before going to the Pelicans, pero I have someone else in mind.
Me too.
Well, I'm going with mine. I just think they need a lot more defense than this.
AJ ka, no?
Yeah. I'm going with AJ. I just think they need a lot more defense based on their performance. So they have all the offense they need. I think they need to add more defense. Yun lang.
Well, for me naman, like I said, kailangan nila ng floor general, someone na mag-orchestrate ng offense nila, someone that's gonna facilitate all of their, kasi honestly, ang dami nilang great scorers in the team.
Zion, BI, CJ Mack.
CJ, tas minsan si Devontae. But I wouldn't really trust Devontae as my one, especially if I have someone like CJ, tapos meron pa akong BI. So, I'm gonna take Dyson Daniels.
O nga pala, wala ka nga pala. Iba nga pala yung Dyson Daniels. So we already have him a while ago kasi. Kaya hindi ko naisip yun. Ginawa namin siya 6.
Yeah, naiisip ko rin na he has Dyson Daniels. Personally, perfect fit sa Pelicans. Pero problema lang, sa general mock, he's already gone.
Yeah.
6.
6 na.
Kaya hindi ko nakalimutan. Pinik ko na kasi siya kanina. Kaya
Masyado yata maaga yung Dyson. I don't know. Pero para sa akin, ito na yung perfect fit for Dyson.
Perfect and best player. For me, best player available na eh.
Yun. Ikaw, Laij, sino pick mo?
I'll make this quick. I understand naman why AJ Griffin like Matthews, AJ Griffin. I think he fits them naman. Kasi he's a good 3-point shooter. And yun ang gusto rin yun ang kailangan rin ng what they call this, ng Pelicans, off-ball shooters. But for me, I think mas perfect na fit si Ben Mathurin kasi he could play off the ball rin. And he's a good 3-point shooter. Defensively, I'm not really sure yet. Pero I think fit-wise, I think Mathurin would be great for the Pelicans.
So since
Okay.
you have Dyson, which is pinili na namin ni Laij. Who do you think would fit more, Griffin or Mathurin?
To
Sino
me,
yung pinili mo
the same
doon?
player. They're probably like the same player, honestly, sa akin. I see them as the same player.
Mathurin's more of an offensive guy.
Yeah, I mean,
Mathurin, ano ba?
same sila
Okay, so
ng
Benedict
build,
Mathurin,
same sila
okay.
ng frame.
Let's go. I have the stats here. Benedict Mathurin, 6'6", 210, 17, 5, and 2. So rebounds, assist. Points, rebounds, assist. 17, 5, 2. 2 assists. AJ Griffin, 6'6", 222, 10, 3, and 1. But yung 3-point percentage ni AJ Griffin is like 10% higher than Mathurin.
Alright, just tell me this. Who's the better defender?
AJ Griffin.
Then I'm
Okay
taking that
Okay
guy.
na. Tama naman, di ba, Laij? I think so too. I think AJ
I
Griffin.
think I got potential rin potential. Kasi I see a lot of Jimmy Butler in him.
Yeah.
They need a good Pelicans.
Si
They
AJ
need a good
Griffin.
3 and D guy din. Scorers din na nila kailangan ng scorers. Ang dami na nila ng like so yung 17 ni Mathurin that's gonna shrink to like 8 points max. So without those parang baka hindi na siya maging productive.
Yun din yung naisip ko, you need a guy who's willing to fit in.
Yeah.
And with that 10 points, feeling ko, you can still have that 10 points in the NBA. But at the same time, do what you're known for doing, like defend and shoot 3-pointers if you need to. Just why I think he's a better fit. So,
yeah.
Consensus, AJ Griffin.
Yep. Spurs. Laij. Spurs. Ako na ba? Spurs? Ay, si Laij.
Gusto mo ba si Laij na lang?
Laij na lang para mas may knowledge.
Okay, Laij.
Sobrang ganda ng scenario ng mock draft natin na to. We still have Shadon Sharp, Jalen Duren, and Johnny Davis. I'll do what Matt did na rin kanina. I'll make a realistic one and the one na gusto ko. Realistically, even though they don't need any more guards, I think the Spurs needs like parang their go-to guy talaga. Parang they need a primary scorer. And out of the guys available, the best scorer here is Johnny Davis. And to me personally, I think yun ang pipiliin ng Spurs come draft night. And considering he's a very great defender, and just think of Devin Booker and pero yung depensa niya. It's kind of like, I don't know, D-Wade. I wouldn't really say D-Wade-esque, pero he's a good shot blocker for a guard, for a 6'5" guard. So I have a feeling talaga, and he's a hard worker. And for me kasi the Spurs, yun ang gusto nila
Johnny Davis.
But,
Johnny Davis.
yeah, realistically, pero since this is a mock draft, and of course, meron tayong mga favorites. I mentioned before, Matt, na I want Jalen Duren kasi fit-wise rin, and yung potential medyo through the roof na si Jalen Duren. But since Shadon Sharp is still available, if si Shadon Sharp talaga naglaro sa college, I have him top 3. Big board and mock draft. I've scouted his high school games. He's very solid. He reminds me of Jalen Green, pero more composed. And he's very, very athletic. And he's a great scorer rin. I could say parang on the level of Johnny Davis, pero mas patanda kasi si Johnny Davis. So, of course, mas magaling na scorer si Davis. But I think the Spurs would take another risk here. Just like they did last year with Josh Primo. And so I want them picking Shadon Sharp kasi I think that's gonna be their new go-to guy. And I have may tiwala ako sa taong to kay Shadon Sharp. And if he's willing talaga to trust the system, I think he's gonna be their best player. Even better than DeJounte Murray for me. So I have them Shadon Sharp. Pero sa akin lang yan.
Ikaw, Sams.
Spurs? I honestly don't know, man. Like, isa to sa mga last na pinilapan ko. Because, number one, I don't know anything about the Spurs. Like, no offense to you, like Spurs fan. I don't watch Spurs games. Tapos, hindi ko alam what kind of player would fit well with DeJounte. So, with that, I think I'm just going with who you're going. I trust you. So, yun.
Sharp. Alam mo, Shadon Sharp kayo parehas. Alam mo, like, sana pinakinggan mo na lang yung cut mo kasi I have Jalen Durant. I actually think the Spurs will get Jalen Durant just because he's a big. And the Spurs loves bigs. Also,
does he fit the Spurs system though?
I think so.
They do love bigs, but over the years they prefer specific kinds of bigs.
I think he fits, to be honest with you.
Yung gut feeling ko, I really want Jalen Durant talaga. But I just don't see the Spurs drafting him. Parang for me lang talaga, I have a freaking gut feeling. Last year, I wanted Şengün so bad. Like, I had a gut feeling na he was gonna get picked by the Spurs. Tapos they went with Josh Primo. This year talaga, same scenario rin eh. Parang there's a gut feeling na I want Şengün to go to the Spurs just like Jalen Durant. Pero parang hindi talaga eh. I just don't see the Spurs wanting to pick Durant.
Spurs palagi wild card yung Spurs eh. Like, you just pick some random guy.
Sometimes it doesn't make sense.
The decent pick lang talaga na ginawa ng Spurs. Like, decent meaning they follow the big boards was nung 2020 si Devin Vassell. Like, he was the second best player sa draft board nun ah. Pero for me talaga, the Spurs are gonna make another reach of a pick ulit. That's why I'm excited for this year's draft. At the same time, kinakabahan ako. Kasi baka they might make another reach of a pick ulit.
But hey, I'm not the Spurs
fan. If Jalen Durant gets picked, I'm gonna be so happy though.
Yeah, well, I'm not a Spurs fan though. And since Sam's goes with whoever your pick is, I'm gonna go whoever your pick is. So our consensus would be Shadon Sharp. And with that,
ito na yung prediction ko. Like I said kanina, Johnny Davis. They're gonna go Johnny Davis. Pero for this mock draft, I have them picking Shadon Sharp. Yun yung gut feeling ko. They're gonna get Johnny Davis.
Let's see.
It makes sense, but like, di ko talaga alam. Can you tell me what kind of player would go well with DeJounte?
A center. Pero one reason why I didn't pick Jalen, hindi ko na mention to, kasi they might go for the Andre Ayton this free agency.
What?
So,
that's tough. Yeah, that's tough.
So, although they could still get Durant, di ba?
O para maging 4 or backup center, pwede.
Yeah, pero for me lang talaga, di ko lang talaga pinili si Durant kasi gut feeling lang talaga na I just don't see the Spurs picking him. Well, hopefully I'm wrong kasi I want Durant talaga from San Antonio.
Okay, well, given that, we have to say goodbye first to our co-host, Mr. Samson. May ano pa siya? May inom pa ata.
Hindi, may lakad. Family na lakad.
Kala ko pa party ba?
Sunday.
Kala ko party boy. Anyway, thank you, Sams. I have his list, by the way. I have his list. So, we'll
sorry, medyo natagalan. Yo, this is the first time we're doing this.
Very hard.
Apologize.
Very hard.
It's a long process.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But hey, if Jaden Hardy gets picked within the top 10 though, both of y'all owe me something. Genius.
bigyan ka ng Jaden Ivey na card.
G.
Pag meron. Anyway,
Alright.
thanks, Sams.
See y'all. Ingat.
Bye, Sams.
So, Laij and I are here. Hindi namin alam kung hanggang anong pick to abutin. Probably nga 14th lang. Kasi hindi namin in-expect na ganito kahirap.
If ever the case though, siguro gawa na lang kami ng isa pang episode for this. If Matt decides, kasi of course, siya naman yung nagpapasimuno. Pero yeah, it's just super long kasi first time lang namin ginawa to. So yeah.
Anyway, so yun nga, shade and sharp tayo sa San Antonio. And mukhang kung sino pipiliin mo lang dyan yung Washington natin. Because so, for my Washington, I had shade and sharp. Kasi feeling ko, yun nga, big spark siya, big spark. Feeling ko makakatulong talaga siya sa Washington. Especially wala na sa kanila si Spencer Dinwiddie. So you don't need a big. And you have Bradley Beal. And just like Portland, you want to win because you still have Bradley Beal. And I feel like si Shadon Sharp yung mga kanulong talaga sa kanila. But since siya yung consensus person natin, I think whoever you're gonna pick, yun yung consensus.
Honestly, I was gonna pick Johnny Davis for this. Pero since minention ko na, nandun pa pala si Bradley Beal. They actually need a guard. Pero I don't really know if they would take a chance on Ty Washington. So, for me, I think they'll go best player available na lang in Benedict Mathurin. So, I have them picking Benedict Mathurin.
Benedict Mathurin then for Washington.
Yep.
Well, hindi naman siya consensus dahil sila dyan pumili. It's because si Samson then Benedict Mathurin yung pinili for Washington. So, we will be going for Benedict Mathurin for Washington.
Yep.
For your New York Laij.
Ayun, ito New York. Okay. Ito na. It's either, for me, either Jalen Duren or Johnny Davis. Actually, they need a big. In terms of, yung base sa ano na to base sa website. By the way, we're using the website of Fanspo. Yeah, just so you guys know.
Sponsored.
Basically, ito yung
sponsor us.
Yeah. Nakakatulong lang kasi we're kind of like amateurs kasi. And my big board na rin kasi sila dito. So yeah, we're following what they have here. Basically, ang fina-follow rin naman kasi nila is yung ESPN draft board. And according to this website, the Knicks need more than anything daw is a center. Pero I don't necessarily think so. And I personally think na they should go for Johnny Davis here. And I think he's a much better fit than Jalen Duren for the Knicks. So I got Johnny Davis.
I think that's consensus. I was gonna pick Johnny Davis as well. Feeling ko he would be a good partner for RJ Barrett. Let me look at his stats real quick because you have a guy who's 6'5", 194, who can play the 2 or the 3, which positions naman na meron na kayo as a team. But obvious nung playoffs that you need a guy who can score as well. Kung yung kanina, yung Pelicans, kulang sila sa defense. Yung Knicks, for me, kulang sila sa offense. And Johnny Davis can be a helping hand to them given that he averaged 19.7 points per game and 8.2 rebounds on 30.6% three-point shooting, which is good. So I think, consensus feeling ko Johnny Davis talaga.
And yeah, to consider na rin, it's a safe pick. Kasi of course, yung history ng Knicks, they're very prone to drafting, I wouldn't really say bust, pero underwhelming players. And to me, Jalen Duren kasi, even though he's a high reward, I think he's a high risk as well. Kasi if I forgot to mention this, medyo he's more, yung play style niya kasi traditional big eh. It's not really modernized yet. Although I have a feeling na he could still develop modernized a style of play kasi he's very young. Honestly, he's actually one of the youngest prospects here in the draft.
Ano ba siya?
Pero he's born 03, parang November. Like,
Nakakapaniwala ka,
nagulat
mas
nga ako.
bata sa atin naka sa NBA na. My God.
I mean, hindi nga ako paniwala. Like, mas matanda to kay Real. My gosh. Yeah, pero yeah, so going back to the Knicks, I think it's a safer route to go for Johnny Davis.
Makes sense. Johnny Davis tayo. And ito, feeling ko consensus ka na naman. Okay, for number 12, we're going to OKC, right? And like I mentioned a while ago, I'm picking this player because I was hoping that Jabari Smith will be picked at Oklahoma. And I wanted Jalen Duren to go to OKC. But since realistically speaking, I have him going to the Spurs. So OKC, I had Mark Williams, a 7'2" center from the same team as AJ Griffin. He's the center of Duke, I think, if I'm not mistaken. He is a solid center. And if we're talking about fit, he is much taller than Jalen Duren. Less skillful, but more on the power side of things. Parang mas malakas siyang pumwersa in the paint. He has a bigger body. He's 7'2". He can block shots. I think he's a good fit as well. If Jalen Duren's not on the board. And I'm saying the consensus to para kay Laij kasi si Sams, he had Jeremy Sohan at 12. So, Laij, OKC, give me a good one.
You know what? I have mine kasi. And for me, this is an OKC pick. OKC type of pick. Kasi sa totoo lang, Matt, parang alam pa yung trend ng pick nyo from the past, based on the past two drafts, you guys find a way in picking the youngest players. Pero na lang last year kasi you guys picked Giddy pero si Primo kasi was the youngest and Giddy was the second youngest. The draft prior to that, you guys drafted Pokuševski. He was the youngest sa alam ko nung draft na yun. And sa totoo lang, if the Spurs didn't pick Primo last year, there's been rumors daw at 16th, I'm not sure if yung second pick nyo ata sa first round. Parang there was rumors na OKC was interested daw in Josh Primo. So basing off of that one, even though, pero I mean he's actually not the youngest, pero he's very young. Ako kasi I have them picking Ousmane Dieng at 12. But for the sake of not wanting to explain anymore, sige, I'll go with Mark Williams na lang rin. Pero just so you know, Jalen Duren is available. So I have them either picking Mark Williams, Duren, and Ousmane Dieng. Wala, he's still available.
Oh, well, I picked him already.
In our general mock draft.
Yeah, but I picked him already. Yeah. So
I have them picking Ousmane Dieng.
So who's our consensus?
You guys pick OKC na rin eh. Ay, you guys pick OKC. You guys pick Chet Holmgren na rin eh. So for me, yung consensus ko, yung pick ko Ousmane Dieng, pero yung consensus, I'll go with your pick. I'll go with Mark Williams na lang rin.
Okay.
So,
ang problema kasi doon, sinabi ko pag hindi available si Duren. So, tatanungin kita ngayon, Laij. Since available po si Duren, who do you think will fit more? Duren or Mark Williams?
Well, just like I said, they'd rather pick the younger player. So, I think they're gonna, if, let's say, yung dalawang players lang ang pinapagpilian ng OKC, I personally think they're gonna go for Jalen Duren over Mark Williams. I personally think Mark Williams is better right now. Pero, knowing OKC, I think they're gonna pick Durant.
Siya yung ilagay natin sa consensus.
Sige.
Siya yung ilagay natin sa consensus. Kasi
Jalen Durant at 12.
kasi I said if he was still available naman.
I mean, available pa naman talaga siya. So we have
13th Laij
for
13th. Charlotte.
Ayun, ito na, Mark Williams.
Yun.
Actually, Mark Williams. I was thinking of them taking Tari Eason, pero they have the 15th pick. I think it's better to pick Mark Williams earlier. And fit-wise, they desperately need a center, yung Charlotte. So it only makes sense they pick Mark Williams.
Okay. I have Mark, since ngayon naging available si Mark Williams, I think he was the better fit then. For, kasi I have this other big na hindi ko na mabanggitin dahil hindi naman. I was looking at the big. I was looking at Walker Kessler.
Walker Kessler.
Yeah, but
I think he's gonna pick later.
So since Mark Williams is still available, I think Mark Williams will be the perfect big guy. I think he will hold it down at the center position for Charlotte. So our consensus is Mark Williams. Although Sam's had Tari Eason.
Yeah, I one way or another, I think Hornets, if they decide to keep yung 13th and 15th, I think they're gonna get Tari Eason rin.
Itong hirap sa 14th, which is the Caps.
Honestly, medyo hindi naman basic. Pero para sa akin, I think I have my finalists for the picks.
Who do you have? Kasi I have for the Cubs, Coach, Agbaji. Okay,
Agbaji. And
I have him as
well.
Yeah, kasi
yung isa ko si Malakai Branham. Pero I think they're gonna get Oshai Agbaji.
Yep. This is a guard. I don't think just looking at their team structure, I don't think they're going for a 3 kasi they're putting big people at the 3. Parang naglalagay talaga sila ng mga malalaking tao na 6'10" above at their 3 position. So I don't think they're looking for a 3. I think. Ito lang, hindi ko alam. Pero feeling ko, they're gonna trade Colin Sexton.
He's a free agent. He can walk. Pero most likely sign and trade.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, hindi papakawala ng Cavs si Sexton without getting anything back.
But if he does though leave, I feel like Agbaji is the good guy to pick. 18 points.
I have Agbaji.
18 points on 40% from 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's somewhat like Bradley Beal.
Yeah. Tsaka he's a win now player. I'm not sure if yun ang pinipili ng Cavs, pero yung considering their trend, medyo relevant sila ngayon . So, I think Agbaji is gonna help the Cavs instantly.
Yep. So that's that. Yung sa second part siguro ng draft, maybe pag bumalik na si Sams. I think this episode is too long already for a lottery pick. Or for lottery picks only. So, Laij, would you please recap all the teams for us for the first ever Intangibles Podcast lottery mock draft?
This is very tiring. I actually thought we're gonna finish the first round.
Ako rin
Hanggang lottery lang para tayo. Marami tayong napag-usapan nang nandito si Sams.
Sa totoo lang, kung if we pick per team nang wala nang negotiation, kumbaga nang wala nang usap-usap, pag pinili ko na lang tong player na to para sa team na to, yun na yun. Naabot tayo buong first round, pero
honestly, yun yung inisip ko like, bahala na yung sinong pipili doon. Well, anyways,
baka yun yung gawin natin for the
baka yun yung gawin natin sa second part na lang.
Yeah.
Sa the rest of the first round.
Probably will.
Oh wait, are we gonna finish this?
When Sams is available
Or are we
again.
gonna make another one? Okay.
I don't know.
Are we gonna
Yeah,
make a second round pick? A second rounder?
when Sams is
That's gonna be super
available,
hard.
when Sams is available, we're gonna finish the whole first round by doing the thing ngayon. Parang pipili ka na lang for the team and bahala na yun. Teka
So,
lang,
yeah.
medyo.
So sige, recap.
Wait lang.
Yeah, okay. So for the recap lang of our lottery mock draft, our first ever lottery mock draft. So I'll be counting it. So for the first pick, the Magic got Jabari Smith. Then OKC got Chet Holmgren at number 2. Then the Rockets got Paolo Banchero at number 3. Keegan Murray was taken by the Kings at number 4. Followed by Jaden Ivey going to the Pistons. And the Pacers would select Dyson Daniels at number 6. Followed by Jeremy Sohan at number 7 for the Blazers. Then at number 8, the Pelicans got AJ Griffin. Then at number 9, the Spurs got Shadon Sharp. At number 10, Benedict Mathurin was taken by the Wizards, followed by the Knicks taking Johnny Davis. Then for their second pick at the lottery, OKC got Jalen Duren at number 12, followed by Mark Williams going to the Hornets. Then for the last pick of the lottery, the Cavs selected Ochai Agbaji. So that's the recap of our lottery mock draft.
Yes, and this
Very
episode
tiring. I didn't know this was gonna be hard.
same. This episode will be posted not on our weekly episodes. We posted this sometime during the week, so it's just a bonus episode for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. Kahit medyo mahaba yun, sana, if you agreed, then thank you. If you didn't, you have your own opinions. You're entitled to your own opinions. Yeah. Thank you for your. I'll flash it again. That's the mock draft. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and all of that. Any of that helps. And yeah, thanks again. It's been fun. Samson's there somewhere. I'm Matt.
Yeah, I'm Laij.
Been Intangibles Podcast, first ever lottery draft. Peace out. Thanks for watching.
We on the low, be quiet, letting it go.